So Mullen started high, but then crashed and burned again on Friday. Hi again, everyone. I hope you're all doing really well. So while we did start with a bit of positive momentum on Friday with the stock continuing the strong rebound that we saw on Thursday, the stock obviously ended up in the red on the day. And obviously that's not a good sign because we're basically almost back to where we were following Wednesday's big sell-off. So still a lot of pain there for shareholders of Mullen. Now, obviously, this was the first trading day in a little while where shorts were allowed to actually do proper trading action. The damage they've done is now put the stock back on the short seller restricted list for the start of next week. So, I don't think it doesn't really seem to do much for the company when they're on this list. And there's also the added and understandable reason that a lot of people who are in the stock just want to kind of cut their losses now a little bit. It's kind of, it's a painful one to hold, especially if you, like, the longer you've been in it, the worse, you probably are feeling about Mullen Automotive right now. And obviously one of the big talking points this week was when the proposals for the upcoming August 3 meeting came out, there was obviously talk of a reverse stock split. Now, initially, the paperwork that was issued said 1 to 2 up to 1 to 10 for the reverse stock split. However, it's been amended to say up to 1 to 100. And that's been a bit of a talking point that, the company is opening up reverse stock split that large. Now, I kind of get why they would add that in there, just so they have that added flexibility if they need to, obviously combine more shares to create more of a buffer. Obviously, and it becomes a bit of a tricky situation too. So because they've already initiated a 1 for 25 stock split this year, if the company is to do a second stock split within 2 years of 1 for 10 or more, that puts them up for 1 for 250. Now, by doing that, the Nasdaq might deem that they aren't eligible for the 180-day extension of trying to meet listing requirements because they've basically reverse split their stock too far. They've over manipulated the stock. Obviously, all final decisions come down to the Nasdaq, but it is something that is worth considering. So in that regard, given the way that the company has sold off historically following these splits, the last split we had in May, I can't see the company doing more than a 1 for 10 or a 1 for 9 reverse split if they do initiate one, just because they no longer have that fallback of being able to apply for a 180-day extension to regain Nasdaq compliance. So there is that issue there. Honestly, I don't see the company, even with some positive production news, being able to get back above $1 at this point. We've kind of fallen quite far. It's pretty scary considering that we regained Nasdaq compliance and then so soon after the stock has kind of crashed and burned to where it is now. And this is all with the backdrop of actually some positive operational things happening for the company. They're about to start production. We've got confirmation that is on track. There's the potential that could come from this MAEO deal if the technology proves to be as good as Lawrence Hodges said it is, and the deals that he has talked about having lined up are actually lined up. There is some good positives that could be coming for the stock, but at the moment there's nothing there really. There's no sentiment behind the company. The only people buying and holding the stock are institutions who are getting in at heavy discounts through warrants, and the meeting proposals that are to be voted on, there's also details of potential more shares being raised for executive compensation, which further hurts Mullen stockholders. It's a pretty dire situation. Anyway, we're going into the weekend. I might do a more in-depth coverage of the stock a little bit later on, but no, that wasn't a great end to the week, but we're now the weekend, so enjoy the weekend. Let me know your thoughts about what's going on in the comments below. Until next time, everyone, may the markets trade in your favor. Cheers.